Hi, it's me again, in the same spot, and just wondering a different question today. This afternoon, I received an email from my son's teacher saying, requesting for parents to please ensure their children are prepared for a school day of remote learning. So basically, the kids are sitting for a few hours a day at the computer screen, listening to their teachers' lessons and, basically just going through a school day, what they would normally do in a classroom setting, teachers explaining. Okay, I'll hold this and you can go. I'll hold it. So, in a classroom setting, the kids would be sitting at the desk, presumably, with, okay, excuse me, just one second. I can't help you. I'm going to hold this. Don't be here. You can't hold it when you're on potty. Finish on potty first, and then you can. I'll hold it for you. Wipe your pee-pee in your butt. And your butt. Now it's potty. Good. All right, now pull your phone in your pants up, and then you can have it. Yes, very good. Excellent. Go sit down. I'm back. Sorry. Mom's job is never over. So anyway, so the kids sit in the classroom setting, and presumably in the classroom they would have their supplies, pencils, pens, markers, whiteboard, notebooks, whatever. And in an ideal setting, when we send our kids to school, one of the first things that we do at the beginning of the school year is look at the school supply list. And as parents, we purchase these items. We purchase these items and we send our kids to school with these items. Why are we midway through the year? Is a teacher requesting for the students to be prepared for class? I don't understand it. When you send your kids to school, you send them with notebooks and pencils and markers and whatever else they may need for a classroom setting. Why can you not produce these things for them at home when they're at home doing their school over a computer? And my heart just went out to the teacher. She spends 10, 12 hours a day doing lessons, making up ways to instruct our children on these lessons. Not only does she teach them step by step what to do, using a notebook is crucial so they can themselves see, what they need to be doing, what writing has to be done, what math has to be done. And while the teacher is explaining it to them, if they're like this and not participating, do you as a parent think that they're learning anything? Now, granted, I understand that in a day, it's hard. Getting everything done in one day is just daunting. I get it. And time management is very important. But what I don't understand is if you're so diligent as a parent on sending your kids to school, are you as diligent? Why aren't you as diligent as them being educated while they're at home? because they can't go to school. Think that once your kids are in school, that your problems are over. I don't understand. From what I believe, what I stick to, what my whole life's mantra is, I am a teacher. I am my child's very first teacher. The way I raise him for the first 5 years of his life is going to be exactly the kind of person that he starts school as. So, if he's raised as a little dick, guess what? He's going to start school being a little dick. And if you raise your kid to not take responsibility for what they're not doing in school, you're raising a kid that's going to live their lives with nothing but excuses. It used to be years ago when I was a student in grade school that if I was failing, it was something that I wasn't doing. Nowadays, parents, they really believe that if their children are failing in school, it's not something that the children aren't doing. It's something the teacher isn't doing. And I am damn sure. Yeah, bring it over here. I am damn sure that my son's teacher is doing everything in her power to ensure that my son is getting the appropriate lessons at the appropriate time every single day. Every day that he is on that call, he needs to learn and understand this work. And not only that, but she's giving up her time, her lunchtime, to systematically go through every single question that is on the assignment that she gives to them each day. And what's mind-blowing is that some of these students, some of these kids, some of your children who are in school with my son have the nerve to still not pay attention or even respect the teacher enough to listen to her without interrupting, without asking ridiculous questions that have nothing to do with the subject at hand. While my son is sitting here trying to listen and do the work, your children are not raising their hands, not responding to the lesson, and then once the teacher's done explaining something, there are more than half of the students who stop mid-lesson and say, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" Or "I wasn't paying attention." Or "Can you explain that again?" When, 20 other students are listening, 5 of you are doing God knows what. And because that, the teacher is so patient and so wonderful that she will stop what she's doing. She will stop teaching the other 20 kids so she can backtrack to remind those 5 few who weren't paying attention. She will go back and she'll start again just for that those few kids. And that just isn't fair. That's not fair to the other half of the school of the classroom that is paying attention. That is not the teacher's job to raise your kids. It's your job to raise them. And it's all of our jobs, mine and the teachers. It's our job together to work in tandem. That's 2 of us to work together to ensure that my son is where he needs to be. It is not her fault if my son isn't paying attention. It's my fault that my son isn't paying attention, because that means that I didn't teach him respect enough to give the teacher his attention. And that's unacceptable. you are not teaching your children to respect the lesson their teacher is giving them. And if you're not teaching them to respect her enough to listen to her lesson, then how in the hell do you expect your kid to know what the hell's going on? I have seen so many examples of other students in my son's classroom, these kids sitting there, laying on their beds, faces in their pillows, lights out, dark rooms, computer screens off, video games in their hands. Like, what are you doing? You don't have, if you can't micromanage your child to ensure that they're paying attention, fine. Don't micromanage them. But there has to be at least 10 every 10 minutes, 20 minutes that you come back to check on your son, daughter sitting at the computer. If you see them doing nothing when they should be doing something and you don't do something about it, you are the problem. Why is this happening? Why are all these children being left behind? I understand it's important for single parents. Work is important. You got to pay your bills. But this is why a nuclear family, as it were, is dire. This is the very reason why, a mom and dad should be necessary, or a mom and a mom, or a dad and a dad, or two parents need to sustain a household. And even if that means the mom works and dad stays home, or dad works and mom stays home, whatever the situation, somebody who is able to pay attention to your children during a day, a school day, has to be there. And I get it. Sometimes abuelita has to babysit. Sometimes tia has to babysit. I get it, But you need to make sure that abuelita is staying awake, or make sure that tia is paying attention. It's your job to make sure. If you think that just by sitting them down, they're going to do it on their own, they're not. They're 8, 7, 5-year-old kids, going to school. And when the teacher says they want them to work independently, she means that. She wants them to work independently. But that does not mean alone. You have to be there. You have to help your children, because they're not college students. They're not even 8th graders. And I'm talking to the demographic. Obviously, I'm talking to the younger student parents, the kids who are kindergartners and 1st and 2nd and 3rd, even 4th and 5th grades. Think back to when you were in 3rd grade. It's us, and she was facing the chalkboard. What would we do? Anything we could. Anything that we could do. Make faces, silly sounds, fart noises, passing notes, whatever. We would do it because we knew that she wasn't paying attention. And the moment she would turn around and start paying attention again, guess where we would be? Focused. Exactly. That's what it's like. So just imagine that 4th grade, 5th grade, 3rd grader, getting the opportunity constantly all day long to goof around and not have to pay attention, because there's only one little chat window. And in that little chat window, if that teacher doesn't see you in that little chat window, she moves on to the next chat window and sees if that kid's paying attention. And then the next one to see if that kid's paying attention. And each and every single child in every one of those chat windows, she looks to see if they're paying attention. That teacher only has one set of eyes. Do you really think that she can sit there and teach the lesson for one, and then watch every single one of them little boxes to make sure that your kid's paying attention? Guess what? She can't. She can't. Even the other 2 teachers who are in that call, in that classroom at the same damn time, they can't. You know why? Because they shouldn't have to. You should be. If abuelita can't get her ass up off the couch to peek in on your son or daughter and say, "Are you paying attention?" then you need to get a new fucking babysitter. You need to get someone else in that house that can sit there and say, this is what we're doing. We're doing the lesson at hand. This is what you need. This is what we need. We need for parents to stop thinking that it's not their fucking job to teach their kids. It is. It's your job. The teachers are a tool that you use to help you teach your kids. You are not going to send them out into this world. Guess what? You're going to have a 35-year-old fucking kid sleeping on your goddamn sofa for the rest of their fucking lives. The rest of your lives, actually, because when you get old, they're still going to need your help. So you're going to be, what, 70 working when your fucking 35, 40-year-old kid's not doing shit because they don't know what to do in school? Yeah, that's really gonna go over well with this world. What are we doing? We are entrusting the next people that are going to take this world over for us, and we're not even giving them a chance. We're failing our kids. You are failing your children by thinking that they can handle it themselves on their own on remote learning. You're failing them. You're not preparing your children. You're sending them to sit down at their kitchen tables with your laptop or their tablets. You're letting them sit there and fall behind because you're not giving them supplies. How fucking hard is it to stock a shelf full of notebooks and literally a pickle jar? This is what I have. I use a pickle jar. And you know what it's stacked with all the time? Pencils, markers, everything that my son needs to succeed on any given day. He has the tools, and it's my responsibility to ensure that he has these tools. Otherwise, I'm failing him. I'm failing him every day that I send him to sit at this kitchen table, at this desk, without being prepared. I am failing him. I refuse to let that happen. My son will be prepared. And you know what? If they can't sharpen their pencil, get him a fucking sharpener. It is not that hard. It's mind-boggling to think that there are parents out there literally doing everything else in the world in their home so badly. I do that my son could be back in his classroom. I really, really do. I need him to be back in a classroom situation because he needs that exposure to his peers. I need him to be at his desk in school with all of his notebooks and all of his pencils to be at hand at school where he needs them. And when he comes home from school, I will be there to help him when he needs it. So as you should be for your kids. Your kids shouldn't have to wonder if they're going to go home and get help with their homework. And they shouldn't have to wonder if they're going to go to school and not have notebooks. You know, they shouldn't have to sit there and feel left out because everyone else is writing and they're sitting there doing nothing. You know, you aren't doing your children any justice by sending them to school without being prepared. You're failing them. You are all failing your kids. All of the mothers out there and fathers out there who don't think preparation is important for your 8-year-old or 7-year-old. You're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. Your children cannot do it on their own. That's why you are a parent. You are a parent so your children know that they will have help. Okay, come and throw it in the garbage then. No, you. That's all. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. There's kids sleeping on the call. You know, sleeping. Literally. Children laying in their beds, sleeping. For them to be at home. And tell me something. When you're in school, when you're studying, if you were ever a student, which at one point we all were, how often did you find yourself being able to concentrate and study when every single person around you is yelling and laughing and noises and TVs and screens? And like, how many of you were really able to concentrate when things like that are going on behind you? You know, as an adult, as a 40-year-old woman, I still have a hard time concentrating when someone's talking to me, right next to me, and I'm trying to focus on something. I still have a hard time with it. And you people expect for your 7, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids to really sit there and not be distracted by background noises? You know, you have a teacher who's sitting here teaching your son and daughter a lesson, and she asks for a response, and as soon as they unmute, you hear every fucking sound behind you, including children crying and TVs blaring and music blasting and mom screaming and dad yelling and sinks running and food cooking. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you not focusing on your child being where they are and doing what they need to be doing? Why aren't you doing this? What is wrong with you? You know, like, there's a generation, an entire generation of kids right now who are literally being failed by their parents, by not preparing them properly for school. You know, and we have to rely on this future generation running our world. How the fuck are they going to run our world if they can't even use a pencil properly? If they don't even know how to write in a notebook? How children is going to become a YouTube star, okay? Not every one of your kids is going to become an Instagram model. Like, that shit is not real. It's not reality. It's not a tangible goal. If you're sitting there thinking, my son's going to play video games on YouTube and have his own YouTube channel, and he's going to have 1 million followers. If you really think that that's a realistic goal to set for your children, please sterilize your fucking self now and don't have any more kids. Please. We don't need any more YouTubers. We don't need any more influencers. We don't need it. We need real people with real brains thinking of real ideas to make this world a better place. Listen to me. Please. You're failing your children. Prepare your kids for school. That is all. I have to go make dinner now. I have to prepare a healthy, well-balanced meal for my family because that's my job. And many of you may not agree or maybe not find it as important as working for a living, bringing in paychecks. That probably isn't to you considered, realistic work. But the fact of the matter is, that's it. Fuck you. If you don't think that my job matters, talk to me when your idiot kid is still in 3rd grade in 2 years. Then you can tell me about my fucking worthless job. Then you can tell me that what I'm doing doesn't matter when your kid is 16 and still can't fucking read. Then you tell me how fucking useless my job is or how less important I am because I devote my life to my kids. When your kid is struggling to find a job, of a failure being a mother or how much of a worthless job it is just being a mom. That's all I am, a mom. But you know what? I'm so much more than that. I'm a mom 100%, but I'm also a teacher and I'm a nurse. I'm a nurturer. I'm a cook. I'm a fucking 5-star chef, for God's sakes. I'm a maid. Okay. I'm a fucking doctor when it needs it. I'm a tissue. I'm a living tissue. I'm a boob. I'm milk. I make milk. I make food for my kid. It's like if this isn't a vessel of complete and utter necessity, then I don't know what the hell people are teaching you. I don't know what your mother taught you. But if you don't believe that education starts at home, then please sterilize. Sterilize. Don't have kids. Don't have kids if you think that daycare is going to be the best option for you. Okay, because I get it. Like, you got to work. Okay, I get it. If you got to work, if that's the only thing you need to do to survive, then don't have kids because you can't have them. because you won't be able to survive. Okay. If you think, oh, I'm going to have kids and just get a nanny. Well, I pray that that nanny is exactly the person that you want to guide your child, that you want to mold their brain. I pray that they exercise the same ideals and the same messages that you want to instill in your children. I pray that you hire people that are going to do the job that you know damn well that you should be doing. I really hope that it works out for you, because with all honesty, I don't believe that anyone in this world can raise my kids as well as I can. And if you think differently, don't have kids. Please don't burden this world with your children. If you think that once they start, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. If you think that once they turn 18, like my mom thought as soon as you turn 18, you're not my problem anymore. The fuck? I didn't fucking ask you to be. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask you to have me. You had me. You had your children. You had them. They didn't ask to be here. So when they ask you for something, it is your duty to give that to them, to provide it for them. And I don't mean monetary bullshit things like fucking game systems or phones or fucking iPads. What the fuck does a kid need an iPhone for? Honestly, what does an 8-year-old kid need an iPhone for? Nothing. They don't need it. You know, I'm talking about real things, real life lessons, real words. If you're not going to sit there and dedicate your life to making sure that your children's lives are better, more prosperous, and more successful than yours, then get the fuck out. Stop fucking having kids. You are a drain on this world, and your children will be a drain as well. You know, and I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking because I think I know better because I'm so much better than you or I'm so much smarter. No, I'm speaking from what I am seeing right now, today. What I'm seeing, parents not taking responsibility for their children not being prepared. It is not your son's fault that he doesn't have notebooks. It's your fault. It is not your daughter's fault that she doesn't have a computer. It's your fault that you're not giving her the tools that she needs to be able to succeed in school. It's your fault. It is not your son's fault that you decide to have 5 kids. It's not his fault. He should have the same exact opportunities as every one of his classmates. Okay? And if you can't secure a nice, quiet spot for them to be, just stop, because you are doing nothing for this world but making it a worse place than it already is. We already can't go back in the buildings. We already can't have our kids in school. The least we could do is ensure that they have everything they will need for school when they're here. If you can't give it to them, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I just don't understand it. This is my life. Constantly frustrated over the failures of other people. Not my kids, though. Not my kids. I won't fail them. I refuse to sit back and let my children fail because you don't know how to prepare your fucking kids. You're not even preparing them for life. You're not even preparing them properly for school. How the hell do you think you're going to prepare them for life in the real world? Do you think being a YouTuber is really going to make them a successful billionaire? Because I'm going to tell you right now, 1 out of every 1,000 children get that opportunity. Okay, so if you think that your kid's going to be an influencer on Instagram, again, 1 out of 1 million children are going to make it in that career, are going to make successful careers at that. You know, so realistic goals, tangible ideas for the future is what our kids need. Not this whole fucking live stream gamer channel, whatever it is. That shit's not gonna make a successful life. Maybe 1 kid out of this whole class will succeed at something like that. But I bet any money it's not going to be the kid who's not fucking prepared for the day. It's certainly not going to be that kid. It's not going to be the kid who doesn't know respect or who doesn't understand the concept of respect of her day. So she can teach your children. Your teacher, my son's teacher, gives up her lunch hour so she can instruct children individually on what they need help with specifically. Well, that's a fucking hero. That's a hero. This woman is literally skipping her meal so she can help the children individually, one by one, with the questions that they may have about the lesson. That's a fucking hero in my eyes. That's a woman who doesn't even have children, who's sacrificing her time, her patience, her energy to teach your kids, and you can't even give them the fucking life lessons they need to understand what respect is. You can't even give them that. You can't even teach them that it's so fucking rude to interrupt your teacher while she's speaking during a lesson. Who the fuck do you think you are? Who do you think you are to teach your 8-year-old that it's okay to cut in on people's conversations and throw out your completely useless thought? Who told you that that's okay? Who teaches a child that they are expected to get respect from every single person? You're a fucking kid. You are a kid. You don't get respect from an adult automatically. It doesn't just come your way. You earn respect. That's what we were taught. You earn respect. You, sir, you say, ma'am. You don't sit there and say, hey. You don't call people adults by their first names. Like, I don't know what generation it was, where they went wrong, but somewhere in time, a generation of kids became pieces of shits adults. And I'm talking to you, the mother who doesn't think it's important to spend their time making sure their kids are prepared for school. You, the father who doesn't think it's important enough for your son or daughter to concentrate on the lesson. You, the parent who thinks it's cool, it's funny for your kid to say rude shit to other parents or to other teachers. I'm talking to you. You people are ruining the system. You are making it impossible for children like mine to succeed because your little shithead is going to keep my son's class behind because the teacher is so generous with her time. She's going to stop the lesson and she's going to backtrack for your kid, and my kid has to suffer for it. Fucking, you're pathetic. You're pathetic. And I really hope that your kid opens their eyes. I really hope somewhere in this all this craziness, you can wake up and see that you're failing your kids. You're failing them. You are failing your children. That's all. I'm done. I gotta make dinner. Have a great night, everyone.